We've always been scared of things that might decide to replace us or become more powerful than us. Gods, monsters, robots, aliens. AI feels like that, but possible. And so, yeah, it feels very on point for Mission Impossible. Hi, Joe.
Simon Pegg, my goodness, Dead Reckoning Part 1, I don't even know what's going to be left for Dead Reckoning Part 2. The action in this is incredible. I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan, and this is by far my favorite Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, wonderful.
You play Benji. You started with the franchise in MI3. How has your understanding of Benji changed throughout the course of the film series, leading to Dead Reckoning?
Well, I've seen him grow, go from being a lab technician to a field agent to be a very sort of like wet behind the ears new guy in the field to now being this sort of, legacy character that's much more mature, much more capable, but still very human character. Benji is often described as the kind of heart of it all. And I think that's because he's very emotionally open. He loves his friends, and this is very much a theme in Dead Reckoning, which was great to play.
Yeah, that's incredible. Now, all the Mission Impossible movies have amazing tech, and I feel that the films have been a step ahead of where we are usually in real life. However, with The Entity, this one feels very relevant. Talk to me a little bit about how this can almost seem like a cautionary tale. If you're looking at it, especially in the view of AI. So can you talk to me about what you expect audiences to take away from that aspect of this film?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be amazed. When we started making the film, McHugh told me about the idea for the villain, and I thought, this is perfect. This is so Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible has always been about technology and about masks and gadgets, and this feels like, yeah, of course. But as we were making it, it suddenly became more and more prescient and felt more and more like a reflection of what is happening now in society, to the point where it could be happening now in society but we don't know yet. I think it's a very understandable fear and concern of ours. This is a very nascent technology. We've always been scared of things that might decide to replace us or become more powerful than us. Gods, monsters, robots, aliens. AI feels like that, but possible. And so, yeah, it feels very on point for Mission Impossible.
100%. I feel like this is what's in the zeitgeist now is AI taking over everything. And it's right here front and center, which is crazy that you guys had that foresight here at Dead Reckoning. Now, Haley Atwell's Grace is a new addition to the IMF force in the Mission Impossible world. What did she bring to the Mission Impossible world that we hadn't seen before?
Well, I love the way that Haley's character, Grace, is such a sort of outsider. She knows nothing of the IMF. She's not even a spy, She's just a sort of, force of chaos, I guess. And that really comes across in her relationship to the situation and her relationship with Ethan. She's incredibly capable. She's not a sort of like, a character who's a fish out of water in that respect. But the dynamic between Grace and Ethan is lovely, I think. I think that the interplay between them really crackles, and she's a great kind of addition to the characters.
Benji's always been the one to really help out with the tech and really help with the new tech for the IMF team. How is he challenged versus the Entity in this film?
Well, the Entity means that they're kind of a little bit stuck for using the internet because there's nowhere they can hide. Everything they use has to be detached, has to be analog. They have to go old school in order to avoid the Entity getting into what they're doing. They come up against it at several points and realize that, they can't just hijack satellites. They can't just, use coding or hack because it's everywhere. So that's been a really interesting part of the tech, of having to kind of de-escalate their kind of tech savviness back to old school, like ham radio and, stuff that doesn't require digital interference.
Look, Tom Cruise can drive almost any vehicle on Earth. He knows how to fly planes, fly helicopters. And throughout the course of these movies, he's done most of his own stunts. I actually feel he has the skill sets to be a real spy. Is Tom Cruise a real spy?
Well, this is the thing. Is he? We wouldn't know if he was because he wouldn't be at liberty to tell us. He could be masquerading as an incredibly successful actor, but in actual fact, he is Ethan Hunt. Maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe we're hiding in the light. Maybe I am. Who knows?
I know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Now, I got to talk about the action because honestly, I have no idea. I can't wait for Dead Reckoning 2 now because I just don't know how you top any of this stuff. From the car chase scene in Rome to the train scene in the Austrian Alps, My God, the action is amazing.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the Mission Impossible, how different the action is from anything else we've seen, and how Tom Cruise elevates that.
Well, every time we get to the end of a film, I'm always asked, how can you top this? And I always reply, I have no idea. And then we always do. And the fact is, Tom and McHugh just get together, they get their heads together, and Tom suggests something that he's always wanted to do, usually. And then they figure it out, and then Tom trains for it, he researches it, he works so hard on doing the stunt, making it as safe as it possibly can be. He's not reckless in any way. It's a misnomer to call him crazy, because he's not. He's very sane when it comes to this kind of stuff. And they just ratchet it up again and again. And it's fascinating to watch, and truly, awe-inspiring that they actually managed to do it. And they will do it again. It is quite extraordinary. I love it.
Simon, I can't thank you enough for your time. I tell you, I watched that movie and I couldn't sleep for 5 hours after. I think my adrenaline
it's like caffeine.
Was so high. Yeah, exactly. It's caffeine. It's cinematic caffeine.
There you go.
Thank you so much for your time.
Quote. That's your quote.
That's my quote. Exactly. That's going to be on all the promo. Yeah. Thank you so much, Simon. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Take care.